Hey surf fans, Paul Evans here. Today we're going to be talking about the lost Uber driver. But before we do that, something I'd like you to do for me. Hit that subscribe and like button, ding that bell as well. Thank you so much. Okay, what's the Uber driver all about? Well, you might be familiar with some of the driver models. The Uber, well, it's about excess, and this one's about having excess fun. So what we're talking about here is a board for kind of those smaller subpar days. And the idea of this board is to come in between a high performance shortboard and a hybrid. So something to offer you a ton of speed and a ton of fun on those days with kind of suboptimal conditions. Been a few tweaks to this design recently, a little bit more foam in it, just to give you a little bit more speed and to give you a whole lot more fun. Let's have a look at that outline. Well, in terms of the outline, it's a tale of two halves really. You've heard of the mullet haircut. Business at the front, party at the back. This surfboard is kind of the opposite. We're talking party up the front. It's looser, it's wider, there's a bit more foam there. So that's your loose part designed to generate that speed. In terms of the back ends, this is the engine room of the board. This is the business part. We've got essentially the tail from the driver surfboard. So these are boards at the likes of Griff and Brother surfing on the CT. So all that performance, all that drive, all that control coming from the tail, and a little bit more foam and a little bit more fun up front. Okay, well the idea behind that is when conditions are a little bit smaller, the front part of the board being a bit wider, a bit lower in terms of rocker, it's gonna help you generate that speed off the front foot straight away. And then you want to wang it into big turns. You're going to get all that drive and all that grip and all that control out the back end of the board. Overall, everything comes together to make a super fun board when the surf's a little bit gutless. Okay, shall we have a look at the rocker? In terms of entry rocker, we've actually imported the rocker design from Lost's Rocket range. So the idea behind the Rockets, if you remember them, if you recall, that's to surf a shorter board, and the idea is to get you up and flying straight away. So a load of speed generation and a relatively lower entry rocker, a bit flatter, designed to get you that paddle speed to catch the waves first of all, but then once you're up and going, get straight on that front foot, generate a ton of speed. Okay, in terms of that exit rocker, that tail rocker, there's actually a couple of things going on here with the Uber driver. So we've got a lower centerline rocker, so flatter essentially on the string in the middle of the board, and we've got a curvier tail rocker around about that back foot area. So a little bit more rocker and a little bit more curve on the edges than there is at the center of the board. Okay, so the idea of that outline and that rocker is to make this thing surf like a Pro-Formance board, the Pro-Formance range from Lost, your high performance shortboards essentially, but you're cheating a little bit more foam and a little bit more ease of speed for those smaller waves, just helping you go faster, that much easier. All right, should we tickle its tummy, see what's going on underneath? So we've got a single to double concave. That single to double really comes in front of the front fins. Quite a bit of concave in there. That's actually pretty pronounced. So that is going to generate an absolute ton of lift. So quite a bit of single going into a single to double, and then that goes into a V through the back fin and out through the tail of the board. So the idea of the V is to help transition from rail to rail right through the back, and that single to double, getting that lift, getting that speed going. Okay, this particular board is a 5.9 by 19 3/8. That comes in as 29.25 litres. Construction on this is your EPS epoxy. It's light, it's going to retain that flex pattern and that pop throughout the life of the surfboard. Feedback from our riders was this thing absolutely flies. Okay, fin set up. 1, 2, there's 3 of them. That's your thruster. So this one comes as a thruster setup standard. So no messing about with ripping in and out quads and changing it up. Comes as a thruster. And a pretty good choice for the Uber driver. This thing goes really good.